Hi, this is part two of the Suddenly Single Again series. Today, I want to offer some tips for people who are either contemplating a divorce or who have decided that this is the path that they want to go down to. So, how do you best prepare yourself for that? Now, divorce doesn't just happen. It's probably accumulation of various issues over time. And so what that means is that if you're at this place thinking about it or you've decided, there's probably a lot of emotional and mental clutter that's going on in your head. And so by going through some of these questions that I wanted to offer you, hopefully it helps you to clarify some of the, just cut through that clutter and then really focus on your priorities, like what matters to you the most, what's most important to you. Okay, so before I start with the questions, I also wanted to recommend that you start a journal. And because, again, as we go through emotional roller coasters, we may feel differently at different times. And so by journaling, you can capture all of those in one place. And then over time, it'll become clear to you, again, what's the kind of the central theme, or what are some of the most important things out of all the thoughts that I have, right? So journaling, and then also these questions, I suggest that you answer them multiple times on different days and see what come up. Okay, so the first question is, what is the biggest concern and fear for you to go through this process? So in other words, if you decided that you want to go through this divorce, what are you the most afraid of? What's the biggest concern for you as you go through that process? And then if you're still contemplating whether you should go down this path or not, then also identify, what is the biggest fear for you if you stay? And then what's the biggest fear or concerns if you leave? Right, so just get very clear on that, because once we get clear on those things, then we can start addressing them. Okay, question number two, what do you want to see at the end of the process? So again, if you're going through this divorce process, what would you like to see at the end of this divorce process? Both in terms of financially and also just logistically, mentally. For financially, you may not have the right number, but again, just in your idea, what would you like to see at the other end when it's all done? Okay, so that's second question. Number three, what kind of support system do you have in place? And then, what kind of support system do you think you would need? So really take the time now to prepare yourselves with, establishing a support system around you, because you really, you don't have to go through this alone, and, reach out for help, right? But the first step of that is getting clear on, what's the help that you need, right? What are the main, area of help and support that you need? And then the last question is also very similar to the third question is, looking at all the different areas in your life, right? Which area do you need the help the most? And so, for example, it could be your emotional, right? So if it's this very traumatic experience for you emotionally to deal with the divorce, then, this is probably an area where you need to really pay attention and get the most help on. Or it could be with your kids, need help with, helping the children to go through that process. Or maybe it's for yourself financially. How do you support yourself, or how do you, continue to create a new life being completely on your own financially? So those are the 4 questions. And again, I suggest that you answer them multiple times on different days and see if you come up with a consistent answer. Specifically on the financial side, I also wanted to just give a few tips on for people who have not been involved with their family finance up until now, just because that's been the other spouse responsibility, and now that you're going to be starting a new life on your own, then that's part of the life that we need to pick up, and that we may have been kind of put it off, but now we need to pick up. So one way to get started on that is, first of all, get access to all the family financial information, because this is the one thing that I see a lot with clients that I work with, is they have no access to bank statements or other things. So so I suggest that you start doing that. And so get access or get copies of your bank statements, your retirement accounts, your investment accounts. If your family owns multiple properties, get documentations on that, the loans, or if you own businesses, the business tax returns, the personal tax returns, all the things that financially that you're aware of that you that your family owns collectively, you need to start gathering those information. All right, and so I do have a checklist of all the documentations that you need to collect. If you're interested in that, or if you know someone who's going through this process, comment below or send me a message and let me know, and I'd be happy to send that to you to share with those in need. And so that's available. Okay, so I hope this is helpful, and I will see you next time on this series. Bye for now.